Impact.
What's up, Impact fams? Coach Trav here to talk all things training on this Train Smart Thursday video series. Today's topic is going to be on squat depth. I get questions all the time from coaches and athletes and adults on, how low should I go for my squat? And the answer is it all depends. It depends on the results that you're looking for. It depends on the type of season or where you're at in your season or off season. There's several variables that go into the proper range of motion while performing a squat. So today I'm going to show you a couple of examples of what squat depths look like per result that you're trying to get. So stay tuned. I'm going to show you some examples right now. So I've got my kettlebell here to show you guys a goblet squat variation so I can show you guys the ranges of motion. So the first range of motion we're going to work on is going to be based off somebody who's looking to just get more muscular and burn fat, right? So the first one is full range of motion. So anytime that you're looking to build muscle, it's called hypertrophy, right? And for hypertrophy, you want full range of motion, right? So in this instance, a goblet squat is going to be performed with the elbows tucked in under the weight, feet shoulder width apart. Here, I'll face you guys. Feet shoulder width apart, toes slightly rotated out. We want to squat back and press our knees out. And again, because we're going for full range of motion, we want, boom, all the way down, all the way up. Okay? So full range of motion equals hypertrophy. Now, if we're on the performance end of the spectrum, it depends on where you're at in the season. If I have an athlete that's, say, 6 or 7 months out from having to perform, we're doing full range of motion squats just for general strength and hypertrophy. However, if we're getting closer to the season, I want to do something that transfers better to on-field performance, right? And so when we're talking about performance, you got to look at, it's called relative range of motion, right? And in most sports, a relative range of motion, if I was to ask a volleyball player or basketball player to jump, they're only going to squat about this low before having to find force and power and explosiveness to jump up, right, and get as high as they possibly can. So if that's the case, I want to work that same range of motion and get explosive and strong with those patterns in mind. So if I was dealing with an athlete, let's say 6 weeks out, and they wanted to improve their explosiveness, I'm going to get a lot more relative with the range of motion that they'll be working in. So we'll take the same goblet style squat, and we'll just work higher ranges of motion. Now because it's going to be a higher range of motion, I can use heavier weights, which is going to stimulate my central nervous system that much more and yield that much better results for on-field transferring. So next time you want to know about, or if you're ever wondering what depth you need to be squatting at, think about what result you're looking to get. If it's strength or just hypertrophy, muscle size, fat loss, we want full range of motion. If it's performance and you're close to the season, we want to get a little bit higher and work in that relative range of motion to where you perform. Another aspect that athletes should be aware of when it comes to full range of motion squats is that they can actually be detrimental to the amount of power or explosiveness you can create on the field. And the reason that is because, again, looking at relative range of motion, if you look at where we're producing our force in a full range squat, it's going to be at the very bottom down here, right? Now, when I'm asking my body to produce the highest levels of energy to get myself out of the hole, I'm in a not very relative range of motion for sport. So by the time I get up and I get to that transferable range of motion, right, I'm gliding now. So I'm actually decelerating where I want to accelerate at. So the issue with the deep squat for the athletes is that you're actually training force production patterns so deep that it doesn't necessarily transfer. We know through research that you have about 15 degrees above and below your relative range of motion to get results that transfer to on-the-field performance. So just know that, just another thing to be, just to have your antennas up for. So anyways, please, if you have any questions on any of the information I just presented, please email me. My email address is trav@goimpactstrength.com, and I'll get back to you later.